Good evening. I'm Prashant from the Zoho One team. Let me start today's session with a quick story that shows why Zoho CRM's Command Center can be a game changer for businesses like yours. Let's take a story of Speed Connect and Wi-Fi John, their customer. Meet John, a young professional who just moved into his new apartment in the city. The first thing he needs is a fast and reliable Wi-Fi. He finds Speed Connect through billboards and fills out a form to request a new connection for his home. 24 hours later, filling up the form, John waits and his inquiry goes into the system but gets delayed. The sales representative gives a call after 2 days but forgets to collect his full address. The surveyor never visits because the address wasn't sent to check if John's area is serviceable or not. Days passes and John hears nothing. He gets frustrated and signs up with another provider. As a result, Speed Connect lost a customer due to poor experience. The manager was confused. What went wrong? Missed follow-ups, miscommunication between the teams, poor experience, and lost lead. The current process that Speed Connect follows is that usually when a form is submitted, a workflow sends an email. Then, based on input from a manager or user, the record ownership is changed and some fields are updated. Each step in the process currently needs someone to manually check things like assigning tasks, confirming if the surveyor completed the survey, and if the installation is done, and sending a feedback email to the customer. To improve this, Speed Connect wants automation. The idea is to automatically check the address, send a welcome email, and notify the surveyor to validate the address. And if the address is confirmed, the lead should be automatically converted to a contact depending on certain conditions. They were seeking for the solutions on the problems that they faced, and Speed Connect decided to fix the issues using Zoho CRM's command center, like a GPS for the customer's journey. Now, when John fills the form, he gets an instant thank you email. The journey creates a task to collect his address. Once submitted, his address is automatically sent to the surveyor, and the surveyor responds, address is valid. John gets a message. Great news, your area is eligible. Please book your installation through an email. A technician visits and installs the Wi Fi. Finally, he gets a quick feedback form to rate the experience. Everything tracked and everything automated, and we keep the customer engaged throughout the process. So, what has changed? Faster response to the leads, smooth coordination between the teams, better customer satisfaction, and clear visibility for the managers, and no more lost customers. Now that you have seen how Speed Connect is able to keep and engage with their customers, let's look how they did it. Let's start understanding what Command Center is. In this picture, you can see few people working and one person giving instructions. In simple terms, a command center is a place where people manage, coordinate, and control different activities. It usually involves people making decisions and giving directions. Just like the Zoho CRM's command center helps you manage the entire customer journey automatically, it reduces the need for manual work at each step. Once you set up the actions clearly, the system will carry out them on its own. Creating a journey in CRM is like building a house. First, you plan and design it. Then, you use the right materials to build it. In a journey, these materials are the key parts that helps the process run smoothly. So, in our Zoho CRM's command center, the core elements are state, transitions, automatic actions. Let's see what a state is. In this picture, you can see a diagram where you have start and then you have a state and you have a transition. So a state is each step that a record, like a lead or a customer, goes through from start to finish. In our story and the image that you're currently viewing, John has filled the form is one state. John is created as a lead is another state. Each of these shows a key moment in the customer's journey. The image that you're viewing using the transition is the condition that moves a record from one state to the next. Let's say, for an example, move to address collection, which you're viewing in the green color, is a transition from one step to the next one. Let's keep it simple. Think of a cat walking across a bridge. The cat is like a CRM record. The bridge is a transition from one state to another. The path before the bridge is the current state. The path after the bridge is the next state. The river below represents challenges like validations, approvals, or delays. The peaceful scenery shows how smooth things can be when the journey is well set up. Now that we have seen how state and a transition and how we can use it alongly, let's see what is automatic actions within the transitions and state, how it can be configured as well. So in each state and transition, you can set automatic actions such as sending an email, creating a task, updating a field, and more on. These actions can be scheduled or repeated automatically. So using the Zoho CRM's command center, so as mentioned, command center allows you to set a journey across multiple modules. So using this connectivity here, this is very important in Zoho CRM command center when you have the use case of connecting multiple modules within a single journey. So one of the most powerful feature of Zoho CRM command center is all about you will be able to configure a journey based on multiple modules. For example, when John's address is verified, the system can automatically convert him from a lead to a contact as a part of the journey. The key factor driving this conversion is the connectivity. You'll be able to find this connectivity when you configure a transition, and it's possible to connect between modules if states are defined on two different modules. For example, state 1 is the leads module and state 2 is the contacts module. By connecting between modules, you can trace where a particular record came from and identify the action that propelled the record to next state. There are two ways to connect. One is using the reference and the other is using the lookup. So the reference path generated by the system shows the connection between a module transition and the trigger. So the lookup field is something like you create a normal lookup field in the leads module, and you will be able to connect it based on that. So connectivity is a feature when you incorporate multiple modules within a single journey, you will need to use this connectivity. Without having this connectivity being configured, you will not be able to publish a journey. So now that you have seen about the command center, let's see what is the differences between like a blueprint and a command center. Using the blueprint, you can enforce your agents to follow a step-by-step process within a module. But in the command center, as mentioned already, you will be able to configure a journey across multiple modules. So in blueprint, you have single module. You will be able to configure a step-by-step process within a module. That is, it can be a lead or a deal or a contact or multiple any custom modules as well. But in Command Center, you have an option to configure a complete journey between all the modules that you have. Let's say, for an example, you can create a lead and automatically convert a lead into a contact and create a case or a custom module relation between the contact. So in Blueprint, you require manual input for each transition. So, and human intervention is required on a Blueprint. But in Command Center, it's the minimal user intervention. In Blueprint, you will be able to configure instant actions. But in Command Center, you have the option to configure instant, scheduled, and recurring actions here. So triggers. To automate a journey, you need to decide when it should start. Just like how Jerry's every move triggers Tom's reaction. Zoho CRM lets you choose from different triggers like form submissions or field updates. You can also add conditions to decide which record should enter the journey. As a Zoho One customer, you can make a record go through a command center's journey not only based on the actions within CRM, but also through integrations with other Zoho applications. For example, when Zoho Desk is integrated with Zoho CRM, you can trigger a journey in CRM based on actions performed in Zoho Desk, such as ticket being closed or escalated. Additionally, you can also initiate a journey using API triggers. This means you can send a post API call from a third-party application to start or move a record from the journey in the Zoho CRM. Now that we understand the purpose of a journey and are familiar with the key elements like state, transitions, and triggers, let me walk you through a real journey we have built based on John's story with Speed Connect and show you how to create one in Zoho CRM's Command Center. So this is my CRM, and this is the 2.0 version of Zoho CRM, and you have the option set up here in the left panel. And under the Experience Center, you will be able to see the Command Center. So it'll be under the Experience Center, and then you'll be able to find Command Center. Currently, we are looking on with Journey Builder, and I will be explaining you about Pathfinder later on. So to create a journey, you can click on this button, Create Journey, and mention the journey's name. So this is the view that you will be able to get when you have created a journey. And the limitation of having a creation of a journeys is that you will be able to create 5 journeys inside your Zoho CRM. So you can click to add the state. You can mention the state here. And you can mention the module for which you're going to configure the blueprint or the state for which module you're going to do it. So for my case, I'll be using with the leads module and click on save. And when you've created a state right now, you'll have the instant automated actions, instant actions, scheduled ones, and recurring actions. So in the instant actions, you will be able to have field update, add tags, remove tags, email notifications, create a task, and post a webhook and create a function as well. Let's try to create a new transition. You can give the description, and this is completely for the internal purposes. And as I said, you can have multiple triggers using the third-party APIs, using the web form of Zoho CRM, creation of a lead, despite of whatever method you're creating a new lead, whether it's manual or through form submissions or through APIs. This creation of lead works with all. An edit of a lead, an approval of a lead, rejection of value of a date and time field, and sending an outgoing email using Zoho CRM, and then using the tasks, creation of a new ticket in Zoho Desk, and the Zoho campaigns, and more on. You have a lot more integrations when you do a default, when you do an integration with Zoho CRM. Based on our case, let's go with creation of a lead. So you'll be able to choose for which layout you need to trigger this journey for. So for our, if you have a specific layout for which the journey should be triggered, you can choose that. If not, you can go with any layout, and you will be able to configure multiple triggers as well. So we can click on save, and you have an option to add condition. So this option is useful when you have specific set of conditions in which you have some conditions like you have your customers who are from United States and you want them to go through this specific journey. You can mention the country and you can mention the state or the country here, and only when the value satisfies the condition that you have given, the record will go through the journey that you have configured. And actions. Now you would have had a question. Like in the state, you had multiple options, automated actions, instant actions, scheduled actions, and recurring. But you have the actions like instant actions. So in both places, we have this kind of actions is because for now we have created this state and a transition within a single module, that is leads. Let's say for an example, if you're creating a state in which we are going to convert a lead into a contact, this will be useful. So let me show you how we can do that. So I'm creating a state for the contacts module now, and I'll drag and drop it here, and I'm going to connect the leads and the contact. So now what I'll be giving is that I'll be converting the lead to a contact. And it's going to be on the edit of a lead, and it's going to be any layout, and yes, saved. So under the actions, you will have an option to convert the lead into a contact. So you can do the lead conversion mapping from here. It's in hyperlink. And you can also choose whether to create a new one or add it into an existing one based on the email address. So we can save this. And as I said you, when we connect different modules, two different modules, you will have this connectivity automatically showing up here. So Zoho CRM Command Center will automatically show the connectivity which are available, and we can choose the reference here. So as I mentioned, you will be able to see this action under a state as well as under a transition as well. So the reason is that, so this current transition is being created for the leads module. So if the actions that you need to do for the leads module, you can configure it here. And when you want to do an action for the contact module, you can use this state to configure the actions. So under the actions of a state, you have instant actions, scheduled actions, and recurring ones. So using the instant actions, you'll be able to do a field update, add tags, and email notification in the scheduled actions. And when you want to have a record going through the journey on after a specific duration, like 1 day or hours or minutes, you can configure the scheduled actions. So under the scheduled actions, you will not have the option to add or remove tags. Apart from that, you will have field update, email notification, task, webhook, and function. So we have already created a journey right now. Let me show you the journey that I have already created based on John's story with Speed Connect. So here, this is the start of the journey, and we have the transitions. I have created two parts. So the main key element is that John will fill up the web form, and based on his address, it will be sent to the technician to validate whether his area is serviceable or not. So here we are able to see that the zip code. So based on a zip code, the technician will be validating if John's area is serviceable for a Wi-Fi or not. So let's try to create a new record inside the leads module. So we are currently in the leads module. Let me create a new lead. I'll click on save. And you will be able to see the current state where the journey has been now currently triggered, and you can see inquiry received. So it's currently in this specific state just because we have already gone through the trigger on creation of any layout. Automatically the lead will be moved to the current state, that is inquiry received. So next what will be happening is that we don't have the zip code. So since it doesn't have a zip code currently, the next state is not triggered. So let me enter a zip code and click on save. And now you will be able to see the zip code was being updated from the blank value to a value. And an email is being sent to the customer. That is the customer, we have sent a follow-up email, and we can see the record has it has gone through address collection. So this is the current state of the record. Since we have filled out the zip code, edit of any record in the layout, and the zip code should not be empty and it has a value, we are moving it to the next state. And the next state is all about adding a new tag, and an email notification is being sent to the surveyor to validate the zip code of John. And also a follow-up email is triggered to the customer. So here you can see we are triggering an email to the customer with hey there. And another email is all about to the surveyor. We are going to send out the email to validate. So that you will be able to see here as well. The email is sent to the customer as well as to the technician. So let me open the technician's account right now. So this is the surveyor's mailbox. When you refresh the page, you will be able to see the email being received. New customer alert and the customer's name with the zip code. So now the surveyor or the technician will fill the form. And this form is built using Zoho Forms and using the pre-fill options and field alias. We have pre-filled the form and we are sending it to the surveyor. So he'll not be able to edit any fields since we have logged it. And the only option that a technician will have is to check whether it's valid or not. So after the technician makes this as valid and submits the form, we'll be able to receive the response inside our Zoho CRM using the upsert functionality we have configured inside Zoho Forms. And we will be able to see the added record here as well. So let's get into the CRM record and refresh the page once. And you will be able to see the lead is been already been converted into a contact. Let's see how this has been done. So when on the edit of any lead on any layout, and if the address check is valid or invalid, so due to the technician has marked the address check is valid, automatically it has gone to the next stage, that is response received. And the action is that a, we are giving a field update to address check validator, a checkbox field. We are updating a checkbox field using this one. So let me access the contact and you will be able to see the tag as well as the tag that we have added, surveyor job has been completed. And you can see the address check validator is also marked as yes. That is the reason the lead was converted into a contact. And this is all because of the command center's process, automated process. So here we are checking if the address check validator is selected and address is valid, automatically we are creating a new record in the cases module. So this is the powerful functionality of Zoho CRM Command Center. You will be able to work with multiple modules within Zoho CRM. So here you will be able to see we have sent an email to the customer requesting for the slots. So we are requesting to the customer for a slots when we can install the Wi-Fi on their place. So let me go to the customer's account now. And you will be able to see an email is being received in the customer's end. So they will have to click on the form and they will be able to see their name, their email address, the zip code, and they will have the options to select the Wi-Fi plan. So here we'll select it as 6 months and the preferred installation date here. Submit. So automatically the Zoho form will collect all the records inside it and it will using the upsert functionality. It will be updating the contact using the email address. So we are using this email address as a unique one to do an upsert from Zoho Forms. And let me just refresh the page once. And we are yet. So here you will be able to see an automated action showing up. So here, when you're creating a new contact and account, and in the actions you see, we have requested for the booking slots to the customer, and we are scheduling an action. What if suppose if the customer doesn't book uh, any installation date or they are not selecting any plan details? So immediately after 1 day, we are giving a call task to our sales agent to give a call to our contact. Or if suppose if the contact has already filled out the form, the command center will remove the automated actions and since they have already filled the form. So you can see the installation date has been updated from the blank value to the value that we selected and the plan has also been updated. So automatically when the form has been filled and it's been submitted, the automated actions that we have configured will be removed. And after that we are able to see that the new case is being created. We are creating a new case and then we are sending out an email to the technician requesting for the installation. So you'll be able to see a ticket is created, an email sent to the surveyor, and we are able to see two emails have been triggered since we have bought the booking time and the plan details. Let me get into the technician's account and check for the emails. See, you can see the email confirmation has been received, the email address of the customer, and the installation date, and the name of the customer with the zip code has been received in the surveyor's account. So right after this, the technician will visit the customer's place and they will install. So after the installation, they'll have another form to update the status. So when they use the form to update it as yes, it's been completed, and click on submit, using the upsert option, automatically CRM will get the data from the Zoho forms and it'll update a specific field inside Zoho CRM's record as installation has been yes. So this specific action will be updated using Zoho forms. And you see it has been done. So you can see the installation was updated from blank valley to yes using Zoho Forms option, and the tag has been added as completed as we have configured. So here on the edit of a contact in any layout, we are checking for a condition if the installation is yes. And the immediate action is to add a tag to the contact. And yes, we have added a tag to the contact. So what about the case that has been created? You don't have to worry about that as well. Just because we have used the next option is to update the status to closed once the tag has been added. So basically, we are updating the status of the case that we have created. So cases module is something like Zoho Desk. So Zoho Desk functionality is to collect the support request from your customers and manage them. So such like that, we have the cases module within Zoho CRM to file the cases. So the cases module is also being marked as closed using command center. Due to the PAN module support that we have within the command center, we are updating it through the Zoho CRM's command center from new to closed when the installation is marked as completed by the technician. So this is how we will be able to automate our customer's journey inside Zoho CRM's command center. So now we have seen how the command center works and how we'll be able to automate journey. And it's very important your journey is set up. It's important to know how well it's working. And you need to spot the delays and weak points and fix them. So in Zoho CRM Command Center, you have three types of reports in a journey, such as state-wise segregation, average time taken in each state, and overall report. So you will be able to access your reports by going to the settings, and you will be able to see under the experience center, the command center, and you can go to the respective journey that you have configured and you will have view reports. When you click onto that, automatically the reports of the journey will be shown up here. So as mentioned, state-wise segregation, average time taken, and overall reports. And in the right top corner, you will have the options to choose the duration of the reports to be generated. And yes, so the state-wise reports, you can see how many records went through each stage of the journey. So let's say in our use case, we can see under the address collection, we have 15 records, and the inquiry received, we have 2 records, and the response received, we have 6 records has gone through it, and the average time taken in each state. So this report shows how much time is spent in each state. By using this option and this report inside Command Center, you will be able to know whether the technician has taken a lot of time to respond or the customer has taken a lot of time to give their installation timings and the plan details. So based on this report, you'll be able to fix your delays in your journey, in the customer's journey. And the overalls report. This shows how many records pass through each state and the transition in the whole journey. So it's a replica of the journey that you have created inside your Zoho CRM's command center. and you will be able to track. You don't have to rely on reports. So Zoho CRM allows and shows you the current state of a record. Let's say, for an example, we will be able to see the current status of a record in within the record itself. So here you will have the option when a record has gone through the command center, you will have the same kind of option shown up here, which will show the current state, where the record is in, and the upcoming state as well. So that is all about Zoho CRM's Journey Builder. And let's get on to the Pathfinder in Zoho CRM. So we have seen how to set up the journey and blending multiple workflows and manual interventions. Let's look onto another feature in Zoho CRM Command Center that helps you define the right path for your customers. As a business, you should be able to clearly identify where you're gaining customers and where you're losing them. And to explain it in a fun and relatable way, let's take a look at a story from the classic cartoon duo Tom and Jerry. So Jerry needed to cross a wobbly rope bridge over a wild river. He had three paths in front of them. The middle looked direct, but the wood was broken. The left path seemed safe, but Tom was waiting with a frying pan. The right path was hidden under the bridge, narrow and tough, but safe. Jerry hesitated. He dashed forward and picked the wrong path. Poor Jerry did not know which path was best. That is what Pathfinder in Zoho CRM solves. Just like Jerry, customers move through different paths in Zoho, your CRM journey. Some paths work, some leads to lost deals, confusion, and drops off. So Pathfinder helps you track every customer's real journey, find out where they struggle, and discover which path leads to success. So next time you're not guessing and you're guiding every Jerry on safest path. So Pathfinder in Zoho CRM is a tool built to capture live interactions with your business as signals and record them as unique paths, also known as journeys. So the view that you're currently having in your screen is all about the Pathfinder we have and that we have already configured, and this is how it will be. So the touch point is all about on which state a record should go through the Pathfinder. And in the next one, you have the module, which module you need to incorporate the Pathfinder. You will be able to mention it here. The layout, you can select which layout should be tracked. And the identifiers is all about the uniqueness. So in our story, we have John's email address is a unique one. If not, you can use the lead ID also in order to track it. Let's try to get into the real Pathfinder that we have configured inside our Zoho CRM's command center. So you can navigate to the settings and you have the under the command experience center, you have the command center and the Pathfinder. So here we'll try to create a new Pathfinder, configure Pathfinder, give the Pathfinder's name and create a new one. So this is how the UI will look. So add the state, new lead isn't state that we are giving. And the touch point, as I told you, you have multiple options. You will be able to use as a touch point to trigger this Pathfinder for the record that you're creating. So you have the option and we are using creation of a record and we are choosing it for the specific module, which module we need to track this Pathfinder for. And the layout can be selected as well. And the identifiers is the lead ID. And if you have additional criteria to mention, you can also mention it. For example, as I told you earlier, you can choose it for country. If you want to specifically want to make few records go through the Pathfinder that you're creating, you can also mention that. And you can click on the start tracking. So let's see how I've already configured a Pathfinder and let's see how that will be. And here you can see we have around 6 states and we have new lead. And this new lead state will be triggered on the creation of a lead in any layout. And on an outgoing email, we'll be moving to the next state. So let me show with a live example how a Pathfinder can work. And let's try to create a new record. So we can refresh the page once, and you will be able to see the Pathfinder, the Wi-Fi 2 that we just created showed up here as well. And the Pathfinder that we are about to look, that is a Wi-Fi, is the Pathfinder that is involved here. So in the timeline, you will be able to see it has entered into the command center, and with a new lead being created, it has entered into the Wi-Fi, this Pathfinder as well. So basically, you can see on the creation of any lead in the layout, it has gone through the Pathfinder. So based on this, you will be able to generate your reports as well. So you have three kinds of reports inside the Pathfinder, that is Path, Sankey, and Journey. So here, as I mentioned, we have different states. The state that we have configured will be shown up here. So through this, we'll be able to see like how much records has gone through which path and how far they have gone. So based on this, we'll be able to know like on which path we are losing the customers and where we'll need to invest more to gain much more customers. So this is the key advantage of Zoho CRM's Pathfinder. And you have the options to filter by state and the duration and the current state as well. The Sankey report shows the path based on the percentage, and you will be able to navigate it through as well. So you will have the previous state and the current state with the percentage mentioned. And the journey report. This is all about a replica of your Pathfinder that you have created, and it will show based on the state-wise report, like how much records has gone through each state inside your Zoho CRM's command center. So this is all about Zoho CRM's command center. Using the journey builder, you will be able to send out automatically, you will be able to send out emails and field updates, assigning tasks to your customers. And also you will be able to escalate. You can also set the deadline for the state. Let's say for an example, if the record stays in this specific state for a longer time, you can also I can add the deadline, and you can mention whether you need to escalate it to your manager or any other user. You can mention that as well. Or if you want to move it to another state as well, you will be able to select to which state you need to move. And yes, this is all about the Zoho CRM's journey builder under the command center. So using this, you'll be able to automate everything. Most of the automations can be done within the journey builder. And the Pathfinder is all about tracking where you'll need to focus on your Zoho CRM's modules, such as the leads module and the contacts module. So which path will be better to analyze everything, nook and corners of your business, you use this Pathfinder. I would like to share you another announcement here about the Zoho CRM's command center. So here you will be able to see that we are in the phase to release of the new 2.0 version of Zoho CRM's command center, and it will be released soon going forward. The 2.0 version will be something that will be very enhanced in the UI, and yes, you have few features that will be included with the Zoho CRM's new version of command center, and there will be changes in the interface. You have much more features, and it will be very user friendly as well. And you have the new key changes, something like identifiers. You have the better navigation, smoother in controls, and you have the weight component as well in order to for this. So this is what I wanted to share. And yes, it'll be releasing soon for few months. Yes.